Hi, everybody. Welcome back to In the Cards and Stars. I'm your host, Britt Madrid Mogensen, and today we are going to talk about a few transits that are affecting us all, some really important things going on with Mercury and Mars right now that we have to be aware of. By the time you guys are listening to this, we'll be in the thick of it with the North Node in Pisces. So let's just do a little bit of a cosmic conversation around the astrology. And I also want to talk about an influencer who recently came back on the scene after a controversial disappearance for about 3 years. Yes, we're going to talk about David Dobrik. His birth chart is nothing short of alarming. So we're going to get into all of that and more. But before we get started, I want to just make a quick mention about everything going on in Los Angeles and the surrounding areas right now. It is absolutely devastating and heartbreaking. I have not been able to stop thinking about all of the people and the animals impacted by what's going on and just everything that they must be feeling. And I know that you guys are probably feeling the same way. So I just wanted to acknowledge that before I launch into, this gossip and all this fun stuff that I feel is important because it keeps us going, keeps us distracted. I know I've needed some fun outlets while I've been following along with what's been happening. And so that's what we're going to do today. I also am going to include some links below that are some really great charities where you can donate your funds. With that being said, we're just going to send our prayers, our thoughts, our good intentions, and compassion to everybody who has been affected. And if you guys are listening and you've been affected, I just want to let you know that I'm thinking about you and just sending you so much love. So where do we start? Let's spill a little Astro-Tea, as we like to call it. Something that struck me that is very interesting about what's going on right now astrologically is Mars and its very, very long transit of the zodiac sign Cancer. Now, on one hand, this is good because Cancer is compassionate and chill and emotional. Having this go on during the winter months when we're kind of like regrouping, hibernating a little bit, it's kind of perfect. It makes a lot of sense. So with Mars in Cancer, we're all probably feeling like we want to nurture a little bit more. We want to focus on a little bit more downtime, self-care, like literally the most perfect hibernation transit. But depending on where Mars is in your birth chart and which house Cancer rules, that is going to change the game a little bit. And I got to tell you guys, it's like clockwork, astrology in the wild moment. I knew almost to the moment, to the second, that Mars was entering my Cancer ruled 6th house because I'm an Aquarius rising. And that was on January 6th when we found an amazing person who can help watch the pups while I record the podcast, which that is happening right now. As you guys know, or maybe you don't know yet, hi, my name is Brittany and I'm a dogaholic. No, we have 4 dogs, 3 of them that we rescued from Dallas Animal Services, the municipal shelter in Dallas that I absolutely love, that is always overflowing with adoptable dogs. And just a little quick plug for them. But ever since we adopted our 4th, Raka, like over the past few months, you got to find new routines. You got to adapt. And I've been struggling to find a routine that works for me. If you guys have watched my interview with Tracy Otsuka, who wrote the book ADHD for Smart-Ass Women, you know I have ADHD, and that's a whole nother can of worms. Every time I add another element or another dog, because we adopted 3 dogs in 2024 from DAS. Every time I add one, I've got to shift and I've got to figure out what's going to work, for this next phase. Well, I am not kidding you guys. We started the week that Mars entered Cancer, my 6th house of work and daily routines. That is when we met the wonderful Melissa. And now that is what we're doing. And I'm restructuring my day-to-day habits, launching the Patreon. Like it's too weird. So I had to share that with you guys because it's an astrology in the wild moment. So I want you guys to look at your birth charts and see which house is ruled by Cancer for you and notice where you are being nudged to put more attention on that part of your life. So it's your 1st house. You may be feeling like a little bit blah, like your style doesn't feel like you anymore, or like there's something that you want to change about your outlook. The universe is going to give you clues. Spirit's going to give you clues. Sometimes that might look like absolute chaos because we need to be motivated in one way or another, but check that out and be sure that you put your focus on that part of your life during this super long transit, because whether we are aware of it or not, we're going to be forced in some way. And I feel like if you can get ahead of it, you're going to be golden. Okay, so let's look at the actual dates so that you guys can put them on your cosmic calendars. FYI, Mars was in Cancer from September 4th through November 3rd, 2024. So we're going to be revisiting some of those themes, some things that we were already putting into place around November 4th when Mars went into Leo. We were distracted by a whole new set of things that we needed to focus on. Well, now we're going to get to go back to those themes from beginning of September to beginning of November so that we can get back in the swing of things. For me, it was my health and fitness journey, sixth house rules, work, day-to-day activities, health and fitness. It's actually kind of insane how dead on it is. So look at your calendar, go to your camera roll and look at what you were up to September 4th through November 3rd. What were you focusing on? You're going to see that you're going to be nudged to go back to some of those themes, maybe rework them a little bit, maybe build on them. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. And when we keep building like that, we just keep growing and going forward. I like it. A couple of tips for this Mars in Cancer transit that's going to be lasting from January 6th through April 18th. Guys, Mars has been in Cancer so freaking much. And there's got to be a reason. We are developing this part of our lives for a reason. We are meant to get stronger in this area. We want to be balanced as we enter into this period because Cancer is a sign that is all about the emotions. It's a water sign. It's kind of subtle. And if you have your natal Mars in Cancer, you may notice that you're not somebody that likes to communicate directly. You may do things to let people know that you're mad or that things are not aligning because you start avoiding things. It's just, hey, is what it is. We all have our stuff. So if you notice yourself doing that, this could be a time where you are prompted to like find new strategies around how to handle things in a diplomatic yet more direct manner than usual, because that's like a great skill to develop. For the rest of us, kind of the same thing. What you start avoiding during this transit could be things that you're meant to apply your logic to. And especially right now, we have Mercury in Capricorn, which is opposite Mars in Cancer. And that means that this is a time where we can find solutions, we can strategize from the house that is ruled by Capricorn in our birth charts. And that's going to help us balance out whichever house is ruled by Cancer in our birth charts. So let me give you guys an example. I'll use my birth chart since I've already been talking about it. I'm working on daily routines, sixth house. I'm back into my meal prep journey. Haven't done that in years. I'm back on my every morning working out journey. Haven't done that in years. That's sixth house stuff. Finally have some structure, some help so I can plan everything out and hit a schedule. I haven't done that in years, but that is Mars that's moving forward. I have to balance that out by not burning out in the sixth house of work and health and wellness, by leaning on my Capricorn ruled 12th house, which is mental health, journaling, spirituality. So by balancing things out, by making sure that I'm also getting enough sleep, enough downtime, keeping my spiritual practice going, that's going to help keep me from burning out with Mars in the sixth house. So look at your house in your birth chart that is ruled by Cancer, then find the Capricorn ruled house, which is going to be right opposite that, and think about how you can balance out the themes. And in the description box, I will write what each house means as a little refresher and a reminder so that as you do this, you can, put that into action. And these are the things, by the way, that the Patreon is live now as you guys are listening to this, but these are the things that we're going to be talking about and working through together in a fun way. Also using some celebrity examples and analyzing the tea over on Patreon. We're very intuitive during this time. Cancer is a water sign. And of course, with Mars there, we are motivated, moved by, and passionate about things that we intuitively feel are right for us, taking actions that bring peace and comfort. Cancer is all about the home and nurturing those around us. Motivation through compassion and through love. I mean, when we have love and compassion, that can be a huge motivator. So Mars in Cancer wants us to be motivated by our hearts right now. Follow your heart. This is the time to be loving. The last transit we had right before the shift on January 6th was a transit of Mars through Leo. So it was very different energy. It was about chasing what makes us feel alive, what makes us shine. It was very individualistic. This is pretty much the opposite of that. This is all about pursuing the things that bring us together, help us to nurture others and ourselves, and growing in compassion for ourselves and for others really right now through April 18th. So this is a long transit. What I like about this is that even though Mars doesn't feel super at home in Cancer, it encourages us to work with the energy of being motivated and feeling like lit up and passionate about something. It motivates us through actual love and things that are lasting and like a grounded sense of purpose, because really Cancer is like very deep and about moving with your purpose. Like Cancer is not going to take action unless their heart's in it, you know? And I think that's really lasting and it has a lot of substance. With Mars in Cancer, this is like things that are long lasting, that really speak to our heart and to our community and that allow us to nurture and connect with others. And that's the stuff that you really can't buy, right? That's the stuff that is forever. This is a time to really prioritize our inner satisfaction. We're also in a 9 energy year, which is about inner satisfaction. So all of my fire sign friends out there, this might feel a little bit challenging to you guys as we get started with the year. You're going to grow into it. You're going to start feeling good. Don't worry. But if you're feeling like a little bit stir crazy, just know that this is the time that you get to tap into that heart center. Okay. And I think that once you switch your focus to that, it's going to feel less constraining and more relaxing and more fulfilling. So expand through the heart. Next up, let's talk a little bit about Mercury and Capricorn. Oh Lord, very serious. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat this one for you guys. It's serious. The vibe is serious. I feel serious right now. I mean, for goodness sakes, we're going to lighten up in a second when we talk about David Dobrik, but it's serious. It's a little bit of a serious time. And it's not, it's not for no reason. This time of year is a great time to set up new systems, get ready to accomplish those goals. We have set our intentions. We're doing all that good stuff. But at the same time, we have to back it up. We can't just think about it. We have to like actually do things and make it happen. But if we don't know what to do or we haven't figured out the problem or found the solution yet, we can just kind of be like aimlessly wandering around in circles. So Mercury and Capricorn is here to make sure that we move in the right direction so that we can build something long lasting. This is one of the most serious transits just in general. Don't worry. It's not going to be here for too long. So use it while we have it. Think through things. It's time to think about your finances. It's time to just be a little more disciplined. I talked about that a little bit more just when we did the general like Capricorn season overview, but now that Mercury is also in Capricorn, it's like double time, So just if you start feeling a little overly serious, don't forget to go for a little walk, try to breathe through it. But this is time to work hard. I mean, there's really no other way to say it. Do your stuff. Stay focused, keep your head down kind of thing. And it'll work for you and you'll feel like, okay, you're glad you did it. Let me get those dates for you guys though. So this isn't like a super long transit. It's so crazy to me because it really is just in the month of January. The astrology is trying to help us accomplish our goals and whatnot this year. So here are just like the key dates that you guys need to know. And then we're going to spill a little tea. We will be talking more about the North Node moving into Pisces. That just happened on January the 11th, 111. So it's just a whole new chapter for all of us collectively. We're going to talk about that more on Patreon though, because it's kind of a deep dive topic, but just know that we are shifting into the energy of Pisces. So check your birth chart. Where is Pisces in your chart? Which house does it rule? That's going to be your new focus. Check your birth chart. Which house did Aries rule? That's where you were focusing since 2023 when the North Node moved into Aries. Now you're going to be shifting your focus into the house ruled by Pisces. So we'll talk about that more as time goes on, and definitely in Patreon, I'm going to do a full overview. It's going to be so fun. I'm very excited about this. Actually, I was nervous at first, but now I'm excited. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. That was that. Now Mercury and Capricorn influences communication and thought processes. So things are just more practical right now. Don't try to do anything too crazy. Just keep it grounded, keep it chill, keep your head down. Like I said, keep working, and also stay connected to those you love with Mars in Cancer. That's going to help to soften this a little bit because it might feel kind of intense. I know I've been feeling it. It's intense. Okay. Can confirm within my 12th house. Good Lord. So starting on January 8th at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mercury moved into the sign of Capricorn. And this is going to last until January 23rd. So we're going to be focused when it comes to communication and problem solving. Things might feel a little bit more cut and dry, a little more blunt. But there's also a harmonious sextile occurring to Saturn through January 18th. So when it comes to problem solving, when it comes to mental breakthroughs and being able to really set up the structures that are going to work long term, I'm talking finding solutions to problems that have been bothering us. Capricorn and Saturn are here to help you. Now, Capricorn and Saturn, they are not like the little twiddle through the tulips friends. They're not the friends that you're going to go to the comedy show with. They're the friends that you're going to take to the business meeting. They're the mentors. So this is a great time to read books that inspire you to set up business plans, to go over your budget. That's really what this is about. It's a serious time to do serious things. But once you've done them, by the time we get to the 23rd of January, you're going to be feeling so grounded, so good. You're going to be glad you did it. And then we get to move on. And then Aquarius season will be here. Mercury moving to Aquarius. Like, I can't wait. So excited. And fun fact, whichever season comes before your rising sign season or your sun sign season, that's your 12th house season. I always find that that's where the hardest work happens. Maybe it's because my 12th house is ruled by Capricorn, the house that, like, the zodiac sign of hard work. So for me, it's like January is like I keep my head down. Like I'm like, I'm here to focus. Like, you know, the snow is falling. I'm hibernating. I'm working hard. I feel it this year. I really do. But we got this. And then the sun always comes out again. So that's why I also love to understand the transits, like, because it's true. When you know when it's ending, when you know what the purpose is, you can actually make use of it instead of just like laying on your bed feeling like crap, you know? Okay. Now let's switch gears. Let's spill some celebrity. Why are we spilling celebrity on David Dobrik, pulling some cards, looking at his birth chart? Some of you might be like, who the heck is that even? Well, let's talk about it. So this is an article from People Magazine. I'll link it below if you guys want to read it for yourselves. But here we go. What happened to David Dobrik? All about his return to YouTube nearly 4 years after. Oh yeah, trigger warning, by the way, you guys. We're going to talk about sexual assault themes, so just be aware. After the Vlog Squad sexual assault scandal. So I thought it was 3 years. Yeah, I guess nearly 4 years. So yeah, he has been gone. He was an OG YouTuber. It was pretty crazy. Like, if you guys have been following along with the story, then you know. If you haven't, trust me when I tell you, this was like earth-shattering for all of the people who followed him and would watch his videos. I was certainly aware of him, wasn't a huge fan. I thought that his stuff was kind of obnoxious, but it seems like everybody just like loved him. Okay, so the social media influencer announced in January of 2025 that he would be returning to YouTube after nearly 3 years away from the platform. Following a 2021 controversy that drove him away from the spotlight, influencer David Dobrik is coming back to YouTube. The social media mogul first found internet fame on the now discontinued video platform Vine in 2013, which he joined at 16 years old per Rolling Stone. Soon after, Dobrik created a YouTube channel where he built a brand of goofy pranks, viral stunts, from shocking fans when he married his best friend's mom to turning a Vlog Squad member's room into a beach. So kind of one of the OG like shock YouTubers. I definitely feel like Mr. Beast and the people that came after him were trying to emulate that like larger than life type of thing. It just seems like he was very influential, you know, maybe not in the best way, right? I think his popularity reflected the culture and kind of like what everyone was getting into, but I also think it influenced the culture and helped us to become more into sensationalism and like detachment. And I really do hope we get away from that. But okay, back to it. Then came TikTok, where Dobrik continued to grow his following, amassing millions of fans who followed his comedic antics alongside his Vlog Squad. Between his internet success and business endeavors, Dobrik became one of the top 10 highest earning YouTubers in 2020 per Forbes, where he was said to have been earning, you guys brace yourselves, hold on to a chair, whatever you have near you, earning $15.5 million. Is that a year? He became known for spreading his wealth by buying many of his Vlog Squad friends' expensive cars, including a Tesla for Jason Nash and a Lamborghini for Heath Hussar. Now, by the way, you guys, before we just move on, I'm like, who commissioned this article? Was this People Magazine article informed by David's publicist? I think it was. You know what I think about People Magazine, how they definitely work with a lot of different, allegedly PR firms. And sometimes they can be the mouthpiece of different celebrities or influencers. And that's how this is kind of framed, in my opinion. If we look at just the way that they phrase that, he was like buying things for his Vlog Squad members. Well, the controversy was that, yes, he would buy them different things from time to time, but they weren't getting paid. And he was making a lot of money, as you can see. And after he went away from YouTube, he obviously stayed very wealthy. And his friends really kind of fell off. They were struggling to pay their rent, specifically Jason Nash, who people were even like making fun of because he was on TikTok doing like the bidding, and they're having people like bid or play those games, whatever that is. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was just sad. And people really like questioned his ethics and why he wouldn't have paid his friends. And it was just very strange. So Dobrik's meteoric rise in the digital world was followed by a slew of controversies that significantly impacted his career. During this period, he appointed his childhood best friend and longtime employee, Natalie Mariduena, as president of his multi-million-dollar company, David Dobrik LLC, as president. Okay. He also stepped away from posting on his YouTube channel and podcast. However, in January of 2025, Dobrik surprised the internet when he announced his comeback on Instagram by posting a shocking body transformation, showing off his significant weight loss. By the way, he's a Leo sun. I wouldn't expect anything less. I wouldn't expect any different way. He definitely has dark Leo energy. And we always talk about that, like how people can have like light energy of a zodiac sign and really express like the best qualities. Or someone can have like the dark embodiment of the sign and it's like the worst qualities. I definitely think using, not addressing any of the controversies or any of the real issues and simply using your body, your physical transformation to be like, look how good I look, and using that to come back, dark Leo, okay? I couldn't be more grateful for the people around me that pushed me this year to be a better version of myself, he wrote in the caption. From the status of his YouTube career to his body transformation, here's everything to know about David Dobrik today. What the heck? I'm going to link this below because it's way too much to I don't feel like it's really great. Like, this is not really well informed. Like, who commissioned this? I will put the photos and stuff though, so you guys can see. This is so weird. Let's talk a little bit more about the transformation. Dobrik surprised the internet in January of 2025 when he not only posted a body transformation photo, but also announced his return to vlogging after a nearly 3-year hiatus. New year, new me, new vlog, he wrote. His first video back was titled Surprising Friends with a Body Transformation. Like, this is so him. And showcased his body before and after his year-long fitness journey. It also featured a trip around the world with his fellow Vlog Squad members and the surprise of gifting new Teslas to his Dobrik's employees as a thank you for keeping the business afloat during his travels. Nash joined the announcement and wrote on Instagram that he was so happy and excited to announce the return of his and Dobrik's podcast views. I mean, he's coming back fully. Let's go ahead and look at his birth chart. There's a lot more. You guys can read it if you'd like. To me, it's just very, very, it's very him. I would expect nothing less based on what we know about him. Now, we've talked about this a little bit before on the show, but the whole reason that he left was because of some controversies that had to do with sexual assault, which was absolutely horrible. This was the person who was the subject of the Casey Neistat documentary that we talked about on the live stream a few weeks ago. He also just had so much controversy surrounding the situation with his friend Jeff Wittick, where he was the one who was swung from the excavator and then didn't take any accountability, allegedly had his friend and business, the person who's running his business now that he talked about, Natalie, forged Jeff's signature when he was under the influence of drugs after his surgery, like drugs that were prescribed. Like, it's just so bad, so many allegations. So I thought it was shocking that he would come back right now. They are in an ongoing legal dispute. So it's pretty crazy. So let's look at his birth chart and then let's look at what transits are happening right now that maybe triggered a comeback. As I mentioned, he has his sun in Leo, moon in Libra. Let's talk about that first. So when it comes to dark astrology, which is the lens that we are looking at his birth chart with, because I do see him as a villain, allegedly for entertainment purposes. For the purposes of this podcast, he's a villain in our story. And when we're talking about dark astrology, nothing is more shallow than the combination of Leo and Libra. Because on the dark side, Leo is all about the self. It's all about wanting to shine on the stage. Everybody look at me, look at me, look at me. It's all about me. And then the moon in Libra is like, I want people to think I'm beautiful. Libra is about harmony. I want people to like me. It's talking out of both sides of your mouth. It's saying one thing to one person so they like you, then turning around and saying something else to the other person so they like you too, even if you are, lying to both. So it can be very, very self-serving. So I am not surprised at all that he has the sun in Leo with the moon in Libra. Also, the sun is in its home sign of Leo. So anyone with a Leo sun, they have an added ability to get famous, to have all eyes on them when they walk in a room. That's why people that you meet who are Leos, they do have a natural magnetism. Now, how you use it is important if you're a Leo, right? He also has his natal Uranus in Aquarius, which is its home sign as well. So he has innovation, the energy of innovation with Uranus and Aquarius. It's about innovation and technology. So it's not surprising that he first became famous on Vine, which was a new platform at the time, like one of the first short form platforms. I would say it was a predecessor to TikTok, and then blew up on YouTube with the vlog, and so many people followed his lead. He truly was a pioneer in that space, and you can't take that away from him It's just what it is. He was good at it. And so with the combination of Uranus and Aquarius, technology and innovation, and the sun in Leo, shining bright, being a star, it's not surprising at all that this person, the person with this birth chart, I would absolutely say that they would become famous on social media. Like, it's crazy. Astrology in the wild moment. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the rest of his chart and then why I think he came back right now. So he has his Mercury in Leo, so he thinks like a Leo. And we know that he's been thinking dark Leo. So he also thinks about himself and how he can be more famous. There's been a lot of talk about people, from people who used to be friends with him, used to work with him, who have said exactly that he thinks about himself, that David thinks about David. Okay, Venus in Gemini and Mars in Gemini. Now, Gemini is an air sign, very non-committal. He had one serious relationship that we know of. Other than that, he just seems like his love is his work and partying and having fun. And he always talks about his friendships. Gemini is the zodiac sign associated with friendships, and also the zodiac sign associated with having a split personality. I think there's a lot more to him than meets the eye, but with Venus and Mars there, we will probably never see it because that's pretty wild. This chart is very detached, okay? Very detached. Now, the most interesting thing that I think kind of just tells us everything we need to know is his North Node in Libra conjunct his Chiron in Libra. Libra is the zodiac sign of partnerships. And oh my God, the moon is there too. Oh, wow. So this is, with Chiron there, this is a need to heal your partnerships. Now, if we look at the way that he treated Jeff and the fact that a lawsuit and really him disappearing from the public eye was largely fueled by that lawsuit and by the way that he treated his friend, Chiron in Libra, we see that this is always going to be a thorn in his side until he heals the way that he treats his friends, until he learns to become someone who is on the bright side of Libra, who is genuinely nurturing, genuinely like creating harmony in their life by being kind, by taking everybody's opinion into account. Libra on the bright side is like, okay, I'm going to listen to what you have to say, I'm going to mediate and make sure that everybody's happy. On the dark side, it's the other thing where it's like, I'm going to gossip with you so you like me, then I'm going to gossip with you so that you like me. And I may be saying two different things to both of you, but I don't really care because it's about me. Okay, so like literally with the North Node in Libra, this is someone who is very independent because their South Node is in Aries. So they have mastered being independent. This past year, the transit of the North Node in Aries has been a year of the flipping of the nodes. So he has had a nodal opposition all year, which makes sense why this past year was a year that he went deeper into hiding to the point where he worked on his physical body as part of his like transformation. When the North Nodes are opposite your natal North Nodes, it's a time where you are forced to look at yourself in the mirror. Now, we will see going forward if he did any of that healing work, if he is more Libra oriented, just based on the way he came out of the gate and didn't really address anything, but just kind of like talked about himself and his body. That's giving Leo Sun North Node, or that's giving Leo Sun South Node in Aries. So I'm not seeing yet that he has changed his ways. It doesn't look like he's improved at all, but we'll see. It's interesting to note. So before we go, we are going to pull a couple of cards. But yeah, with that North Node in Libra, his goal in this life is to learn to be a good partner and to be a good friend and to be someone that listens to others. He's always going to be tempted, though, to think of himself with that Aries South Node. He's got to learn to balance both. Okay, we're going to pull a couple of cards to see what this comeback, allegedly for entertainment purposes, is going to hold for him. The Queen of Wands, interesting. So there is a very influential female around him, someone who works closely with him. Could this be Natalie? I don't know. Could this be a girlfriend? Maybe, but there is a significant woman in his life that we are going to see become more visible via this comeback. Interesting. Could be someone he's in a relationship with. I don't know. What else about his comeback? Oop, the cards are jumping. Whoa, weird. This like bent like it wants to come out so badly. Oh, Two of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Something about money and needing to balance two things. Libra energy. Like I was saying, the balance. We don't have the scales here though. I would have liked to have seen the scales. That would have told me that someone's moving in the right direction towards the Libra North Node and healing that Chiron in Libra. Now with the Two of Pentacles in reverse, this is someone who is working on the themes of balancing two parts of their life, and money is a big one. Interesting. I know he's invested in a lot of things, spends a lot of money. Now it seems like his money is pretty much unlimited, but I wonder if in reality, he has come to a place where he does need the money, because it's like the more you spend money, the more money you need. Even if someone looks really wealthy, like $15 million sounds like so much money. But if you buy like a $13 million home and a $500,000 car, like, and you got to pay for upkeep and you've got to pay property taxes, like I could see how maybe it could start to dwindle. And that's what this looks like to me. It's like someone who's been living large and has to learn to balance their finances. He may actually be in need of money for once. That might be why he's coming back, which would be very, Sun and Leo of him to be like, oh, it's about me. Because when his friends needed money, he didn't bring back the podcast or anything. That was another controversial point. I will put the links below so y'all can check into it. Okay, what else? The Death card. Ooh, okay. An ending. Let me get a clarifier on the Death card. That does not look good, guys. An ending to the partnership. Ooh, and Libra North Node, Libra and Chiron. One more. The Seven of Wands. Yep. Okay. One more. Five of Swords. Yep. Okay. Here we go. So him stepping back into the spotlight, I believe, is part of him closing this entire chapter. And I think it is because karmically things are going to come to light. I do think that his career, his reputation, all of that is going to come to an end. Pluto was also opposite his sun and his Mercury. And this is going to force transformation, whether he likes it or not. So he's going to be exposed. He's going to have to kill off his ego, or his ego will be killed off, because Seven of Wands and Five of Swords, the people that he's been competing against, the people that he's allegedly for entertainment purposes, lied about, benefited off of, the partners that he's had in his life, Two of Cups, it's going to do him in. So I do think that if he goes to court, it's going to do him in. Something will come out this year. Basically, it's going to be the end of this story, and I think he's going to be fully exposed. The Death card. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So I think it'll be an end to his career. Okay. That's all I got for you guys today. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you guys want more weekly tea and you just need a little more, you need a little more Astro-Tea, a little more hanging out, I would love to see you guys over on Patreon. So I'll put that information below as well. But thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in another video very soon.